You really need to stop ordering Uber and let me start taking you to work. You know I can do anything for my love. No, you don't have to do that. That's not necessary, sugar.
Isn't that Jasper?
Are you okay? Yeah, I have canceled the ride, so we can go now.
Femz! Hey, Jasper.
Good morning, team.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. You're late. This is unacceptable. Tobi, get me out of here, now. All right, Femi, I've got you. Lean on me. Don't let them see me like this, please. I won't. We're leaving. Stay with me.
Tangled Hearts. Episode 3. Breaking Point. Femz squeezed his eyes shut, ready for the collision of worlds, ready for Jasper to step out of his car and walk right up to Yemi's window. The web was tightening so fast he could barely breathe. It felt as if the concrete beneath his feet should just open up and swallow him whole. Miraculously, fortune smiled on the terrified liar. Before Jasper could throw his door open, his eyes locked onto someone walking down the opposite sidewalk, a notorious local neighborhood guy he had owed money to for weeks. Jasper's expression shifted from annoyed to panicked. Dropping his hand from the horn, Jasper slammed his car into gear and sped off down the street in a blur, vanishing around the corner just in the nick of time. Femz let out a long, shaky exhale that fogged up Yemi's windshield, feeling like a condemned man who had just received a last-minute stay of execution. Later that day, desperate for a moment of quiet to stop his hands from shaking, Femz slipped out to a local grocery store on neutral ground just around the corner from his office. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead. Aisles of canned goods and snacks stretched out, offering a pathetic illusion of normal life. Femz grabbed a bottle of water, unscrewed the cap, and took a long, desperate gulp. "Femz?" The voice cut through the hum of the store like a razor blade. Femz choked, water spraying down his chin as he spun around. It was Jasper. He was standing by the dairy aisle, holding a basket, looking genuinely surprised and pleased to see him. "Small world, huh? What are you?" Femz didn't hear the rest of the sentence, because right over Jasper's shoulder,
Hey, Jasper.
through the large glass front window of the store, a familiar figure was walking past on the sidewalk. Yemi, carrying a takeout bag, heading straight toward the store's sliding glass entrance. Panic seized Femz with the force of a physical blow. If Yemi walked through those doors right now, in broad daylight, there would be no brother excuses, no running away, and no lucky breaks. I forgot something," Femz blurted out, his eyes wide with stark terror. Before Jasper could blink, Femz shoved past him, blindly ducking down a narrow snack aisle. He crouched low behind a towering cardboard display of potato chips, his knees pressed against his chest, his phone clutched in a white-knuckled grip. Through the gaps in the cardboard boxes, he heard the sliding doors open. "Whoosh, Jasper," a voice called out near the front registers. Femz held his breath, burying his face in his hands, listening to the muffled murmurs echoing off the linoleum floor. The walls of the city weren't just closing in anymore, they were collapsing entirely. The quiet of Femz's apartment felt heavy, suffocating even. He sat alone on the edge of his bed, staring blankly at the floor as the events of the past few days replayed in his mind like a twisted reel of film. The bathroom confrontation with Yemi, the frantic, heart-stopping condom drama, the chaotic near-miss in the street when Jasper and Yemi's cars almost collided, and, to top it all off, the terrifying close call at the grocery store where he had to hide behind a chip display. Even worse, Tobi was watching. The walls didn't just have ears anymore, they were closing in, A deep, exhausted sigh escaped Femz's lips. He rubbed his temples, the stress threatening to crack his skull. I need to end this, he thought, his mind racing. I have to break up with one of them, but the moment he tried to choose, his chest tightened. Break up with Jasper? Jasper was electric. He knew how to touch him, how to kiss him, how to make Femz feel alive with pure, unfiltered passion. And Yemi was stability, warmth, and luxury. He treated Femz like royalty, spoiling him with expensive dinners, thoughtful gifts, and a future that felt safe. He couldn't afford to lose either of them, but staying in the middle was tearing him apart. The next morning, the fluorescent lights of the corporate office hummed loudly, doing nothing to mask the hostile silence in the boss's private office. Femz stood in front of the large mahogany desk, his hands trembling slightly. Across the desk, his boss was shaking a file, his face flushed red with absolute fury, speaking at the top of his voice. This is unacceptable, Femz. Look at these numbers. Look at these errors. You have been checked out for weeks, making careless mistake after careless mistake. Sir, I can fix it. Femz stammered, his voice small. Fix it? You've already blown the entire client portfolio. The boss slammed the folder down on the desk. I've had enough. You're a liability. Hand over your keycard. You're fired. Effective immediately. The words echoed in Femz's ears like a gunshot. Fired. He stumbled out of the office a few minutes later, clutching a small cardboard box of personal items. The ground felt like it was slipping away beneath his feet. He had lost his job. The apartment, the lifestyle, the double life. It was all built on a house of cards, and the wind had finally caught it. Hours later, the bright afternoon sunlight faded into the neon glow of a dimly lit neighborhood bar. Femz sat slumped over a sticky wooden booth, a row of empty glasses lined up like fallen soldiers in front of him. He was thoroughly, helplessly drunk. The alcohol was a desperate attempt to drown out the ringing in his ears, the weight of unemployment, and the crushing panic of his entire world collapsing. I lost my job. I actually lost my job, he muttered into his glass. I might not even survive this. In a haze of liquid courage and self-pity, he pulled out his phone, opened his WhatsApp status, recorded a short, slurred video, confessing that he had just lost his job and might not survive the blow, and hit post. Almost instantly, his phone started buzzing violently on the table. Calls, texts, notifications flashing in a relentless wave. Femz just flipped the phone face down, closed his eyes, and let the darkness take over. Back in his apartment, Tobi was halfway through a quiet dinner when his phone lit up with a notification. Idly, he tapped open his neighbor's status. Femz's face, pale, tear-stained, and slurring into the camera. I lost my job. I don't think I'll survive this. Tobi froze, his fork halfway to his mouth. Oh no, this is really bad. Despite his games and his cynical teasing, Tobi wasn't heartless. He quickly dropped his fork, threw on a jacket over his shirt, and bolted out the door, tracking the location tag Femz had carelessly left on his post. Tobi pushed open the hidden doors of the local bar just in time. Scanning the dimly lit room, he spotted Femz slumped over a booth near the back, completely out of it. Tobi rushed over, grabbing Femz by the arm and hauling him to his feet. Come on, man, you're coming with me before you do something completely stupid. Supporting Femz's dead weight, Tobi dragged him toward the side exit. But just as they reached the hallway leading to the back alley, the front doors of the bar flew open. Through the blur of the neon lights, Femz's eyes shot wide open. Striding into the bar at a fast pace, looking around sharply, were Jasper and Yemi, arriving from opposite directions. Having seen the exact same desperate status update, Femz's blood ran cold. The color drained entirely from his face. Oh no, I'm dead, Femz whimpered, clawing at Tobi's jacket. Tobi, please, you have to help me get out of here. If those two see me together, my life is over. Tobi's eyes darted toward the front, He immediately recognized the two guys, the cornrow guy and the boardroom guy, who had been sneaking into Femi's apartment at all hours. The puzzle pieces clicked instantly in Tobi's head. There was no time to think. Yemi was already closing in near the main entrance, and Jasper was sweeping the left side of the room. "Move, move, move," Tobi hissed, grabbing Femi by his silk tie and violently dragging him toward the back corridor. "The restroom," Tobi gasped, shoving open the door to the men's room. Femi scrambled inside, but horror washed over them both. All 4 toilet stalls were occupied, their doors firmly shut. Tobi panicked, looking around for another exit. Just then, he peeked out the restroom door and saw the barman pointing directly toward the hallway, directing Yemi toward the restroom. At the exact same second, Jasper pushed his way through the opposite corridor. Trapped, Tobi's eyes landed on a large, heavy plastic industrial drum sitting in the corner of the restroom, half filled with rainwater for cleaning purposes. Desperate times called for chaotic measures. "Get in," Tobi ordered. "Are you insane?" Femi Whisper yelled, staring at the dirty water. "Get in or you're dead." Without another word, Tobi grabbed Femi by the shoulders and shoved him straight down into the drum, slamming the heavy plastic lid shut just as the restroom door swung open. Yemi stepped inside, scanning the room. He spotted Tobi standing awkwardly near the corner, trying to look casual. "Hey," Yemi frowned, adjusting his jacket. "Did you see a drunk man in a suit come in here? He's a friend of mine." Tobi swallowed hard, offering a tight, strained smile. "Yeah, I think I saw him stumble toward the VIP lounge upstairs." "Right, thanks," Yemi muttered, turning on his heel and bolting out the door to check upstairs. Before Tobi could even let out a breath, the restroom door swung open again. It was Jasper. "Man, have you seen a guy in a suit come through here?" Jasper asked urgently, his eyes wide with worry. "Upstairs," Tobi blurted out quickly, pointing toward the ceiling, lounge area. "Damn it," Jasper cursed, spinning around and rushing out. Inside the drum, Femi had been holding his breath, water soaking through his expensive suit. The air was running out, the heat was suffocating, and the panic finally broke him. Bam! Bam! Femi shoved the lid open, gasping loudly, coughing up water and air. "Let me out! I can't breathe!" "Shut up! They'll hear you!" Tobi hissed, hauling a soaked, dripping Femi out of the drum. Femi stood there, water dripping from his hair, his designer suit completely ruined, sticking heavily to his frame. He was shivering, smelling faintly of rainwater and cheap bar soap. "My suit," Femi whimpered pathetically. "I can't go out there like this." Tobi frantically scanned the janitorial supply corner of the restroom. His eyes landed on a large, forgotten nylon shopping bag sitting near the mop bucket. He unzipped it and pulled out its contents. A brightly colored, sparkly female evening gown, a long synthetic wig, and a pair of platform heels. Femi stared at the items in absolute horror. "No, absolutely not. Do you want Jasper to find you in a wetsuit, or Yemi to catch you in a drum? Put it on," Tobi snapped, shoving the dress into his arms. There was no choice left. Stripping off his ruined jacket right there on the tiled floor, Femi frantically wriggled into the dress, jammed the wig over his soaking wet hair, and kicked off his shoes. "You look ridiculous," Tobi whispered, trying not to laugh despite the high-stakes terror of the moment. "Let's go." They crept out of the restroom side by side, Tobi shielding Femi's towering, wig-wearing frame as they hurried toward the back exit. Just as they reached the threshold of the back door, someone rounded the corner too fast. Femi collided straight into a solid chest. He stumbled back, looking up in sheer terror. It was Yemi, who had given up on the upstairs lounge and was heading back down. Yemi stopped dead in his tracks, staring down at the dripping, wig-wearing giant standing right in front of him. Yemi's jaw dropped. To be continued, please subscribe so we can post episode 4.